Arguably few countries have had a larger cultural impact on the Western world than England. Putting aside the worldwide influence this country, well, Britain to be exact, gained from planting its flag in every isle, islet, atoll, key, archipelago and rubbish barge it can get its hands on, this fraction of an island nation has spared no effort to leave its mark on our society. Boasting 55 cities and a landmass of over 50,000 square miles, England is a country rich with history, culture and unique regional identity. It's so densely packed that even by travelling merely 20 minutes down the road, you can come across entirely different accents, dialects and traditions to your own. Unless you're a local, it's hard to comprehend how these two people are from cities less than an hour away from each other.
What?
That's all.
Shoplifting?
Yeah, you're not
Oh, you
allowed.
fucking half-faced fucking cow.
This is where I grew up, and it was demolished in the late 1960s. And in a way, it was like having one's childhood wiped away.
But what does the rest of the world know of this diversity? What's the iconography synonymous with England? Red telephone boxes, red post boxes, double-decker buses, black cabs, tube stations, mind the gap. My issue here is that this isn't England, it's London. In spite of our 55 cities, 1,186 towns, and countless villages and hamlets, all that we're willing to show to international audiences is old London town. Upon this, I'd like to consider whether the overrepresentation of London in film incorrectly represents England as a whole. So between these 22 English cities and towns, there have been 298 films set in them. Sounds like a reasonable number. That's of course until you realise this is a meagre tenth of the amount set in London. And sure, London is a fantastic place to set a film. Pieces like Notting Hill, Shaun of the Dead, Love Actually and Paddington could only be set in the city. The iconography I was not long ago slagging off is part of the English charm captured in these films, which gives them their identity. I won't contest that some films are simply made to be in London. But where does this end? All of Us Strangers. A beautiful piece of cinema that explores a man's relationship with his parents and a longing neighbour. The two central characters aren't London natives and are both portrayed by Irish actors. The director, Andrew Haigh from Harrogate. The film's secondary location, not in London. So why London? The city doesn't contribute to the story in any way. The film could have been set in any other English city with no detriment to its narrative. Filmmakers are far too quick to settle to London when selecting a city location. The overuse of London is an enormous waste to so many visually and culturally interesting and beautifully diverse cities at our disposal in England. Nottingham is not only home to Robin Hood's stomping grounds, Sherwood Forest, it also claims a near 1,000-year-old pub, the Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem, and a very impressive castle. Saying that, there really is no shortage of them in England. Manchester is responsible for some of the most iconic and influential bands, artists and football teams to come from the island. To overlook a city so rich with cultural impact and history is Philistinic. And name me a city with a greater self-identity than Newcastle upon Tyne.
So I don't have anything red in my wardrobe. I don't eat bacon because it's red. I don't even like tomatoes because they're red.
To include these cities in films would increase the dynamism of settings, characters, symbolism and the mood of the film. It would be a refreshing take on England, at home and abroad. Don't get us wrong, I'm aware there are plenty of brilliant iconic films set in other English cities. The Full Monty is unmistakably Sheffield, Get Carter places Tyneside at the heart of its imagery, and Starter for 10, a quintessentially English film, is also set outside of London, focused around Bristol University. But this just isn't enough. And yes, our terrestrial TV channels, BBC, Channel 4, ITV, are getting better at expanding further and further outside of London with each new programme that comes out. But here lies another problem. These films and programmes set in alternate cities, particularly northern cities, often feed into the "it's grim up north" rhetoric. While this rhetoric is sometimes justified, due to the pillage and Thatcher and her Conservative comrades wrought upon the north in the 80s, so brutal it would have made the Vikings think twice about invading, this representation we see of the north as a hellish landscape really is inauthentic. Here are but a few otherworldly cities and environments the media industry misses out on by neglecting to represent the north to its fullest. So how do my points stack up? While I do acknowledge the desire to uphold the imagery and brand recognition of London representing England, I feel this is an incredibly outdated approach towards using this country in media. I can watch a film set in a bum-crack town in America and would be fully engaged, as long as the narrative is engaging enough to pull an audience in and have them set aside an hour or two to get lost in the story. A film is a success. Filmmakers should embrace the fantastic selection of cities and towns at our disposal in this country. It will construct a more accurate and diverse representation of England, uplifting people from all corners of it, and would make for some original and unique stories. Screenwriters and directors, take notes.